We're now going to talk about some note-taking strategies for reading Part 2, reading to apply a diagram. Part 2 is unique among the reading parts in that it contains a diagram as well as a short message. What sort of notes, if any, should you take for this part? Well, you'll probably end up taking the least amount of notes of any reading part, if you take any at all. The diagram contains text in point form already, and since the purpose of a diagram is to lay out information in a clear, easy-to-read format, you don't want to waste any time simply repeating information. But there are usually a few areas where you can jot down some notes. Reading Part 2 also contains a short email containing fill-in-the-blank questions about the diagram. This email is shorter than in Reading Part 1. As you read through and try to answer the questions, it can be helpful to keep track of the main ideas in a W question chart like this. Who, what, when, where, why. At the very least, I can figure out who the writer and the recipient are. In this example, I can tell that the writer is Lee and the recipient is Natalie. And at the top of the email, I see that they've got the same last name, so they must be related. The first sentence also says, "Got your message about Mom." So Lee and Natalie are likely brother and sister. From the first couple of sentences, it looks like they're discussing their mother's new medication, and Natalie is a bit worried. So I can write that down. I don't immediately see anything about when or where this is happening, so I'll just leave them blank for now. Now let's try a question from this part. Here's the first blank from the message. Hey Natalie, got your message about Mom. You sounded worried about that new drug she is taking at Dr. Patel's suggestion, so I looked online and found this information for consumers, doctors, researchers, med students. Okay, the few notes that I've taken have helped me understand the general situation. So at this point, I can figure this question out by quickly looking over the diagram. I know that it's a fact sheet, including warnings and directions, for a certain medication. Doctors, researchers, and med students would likely know this information already, and it sounds like Lee and Natalie's mother is using this drug. Therefore, A, consumers, must be the correct answer. So the bottom line for reading Part 2 is that you probably won't end up taking many notes, but even quickly looking over the diagram and trying to answer some of the W questions for the message could help you to answer the questions a bit more efficiently. In the next video, we're going to talk about some note-taking strategies you can use for Part 3 of the reading test.